previously on Stellar Remnants.
I'm not doing so great, Patricia. I was passed out behind one of the local watering holes. So, there's the other kind of void, huh? Take a step. See what's on the other side. But not today. You know, at first I didn't like having you on board my ship. But what can I say? You grew on me. Or probably more accurately, I grew on you. I don't know what you were thinking, partnering up with a mercenary turned bounty hunter like me. I should have told you it wouldn't work out. So just stay put where you are. I would still be out on the hunt, and you would still be alive, god damn it! Patricia, my head is killing me. I'm 48 hours sober. That doesn't sound so significant, but as long as I've gone without a dose of O's since I got discharged from medical and ran out of scripts, I guess. My head is throbbing and it feels like it's gonna pop. I really want to burn some O right now, but I have to keep my head clear for what's ahead. I got a long flight ahead of me.
Ship released. Engines engaged.
Yesterday I was trying to distract myself from this massive withdrawal by looking through some older Galnet stories, see if I could find any possible articles about that attack. I thought they would have mentioned something. We used to get a little publicity when we took down someone from the top 2-5 list, but there wasn't any stories posted anywhere. I decided to look into the Pilots Federation database to see if there was any recorded deaths on that date, but lo and behold, harmless red commanders don't have access to diddly squat. With my hands tied up in red tape, I wasn't really sure where to go from there, but then I remembered the briar patch. After a while, I managed to get a hold of one of your old colleagues there. That was not an easy feat. You were always the one to maintain the back channel into their system, and without your crypto card, I had to rummage through my polluted memory to remember your old call and answer phrases. I don't know how I managed to track down any of the top 2-5 without you on board. I remember I used to have to do a lot more stakeouts. That and work the street connections. Try and grease the right palms up at station traffic control to get my hands on the official entry and departure logs. Once I started contracting intelligence from you at the Briar Patch, it almost felt like cheating. You were able to get me station logs, security reports, financial reports, almost anything really. Certainly saved me a lot of time.
Fuel scooping.
It didn't really cost much more than I was already spending on my own. I remember I almost didn't contact you guys at all. One of you geniuses came up with the slogan, Briar for Hire. What self-respected commander would ever hire an intel firm with a slogan like that? Oh, yeah. Never mind. So, anyway, your old contact wouldn't speak to me directly for some reason. He sent an encrypted message with a set of coordinates in the Limbava system and the phrase, prepare to scoop. I'm assuming he's either dropping a canister for me, or more likely getting someone else to drop it for him. guys were always pretty good at collecting favors. Either way, hopefully I can get some answers on what went wrong that day. I'm kind of nervous about what I'm going to find out, though. If everything was above board, I wouldn't have woken up as this Mac Luster, and I would have some kind of official report stating your condition. Whatever they got to tell me, I know it's not going to be pleasant. I've been dreaming about that last day we had together. It was such a routine day of scouting, I don't remember much of the details. I'll never forget that first hit we took from the attack, though. It nearly knocked out the shield generator entirely. And it would have if I wasn't following protocol and set full power to shields before the low wake draw from Super Cruise. When I close my eyes, I can still see that purple glow of plasma illuminating the entire bridge. That moment, frozen in time. I can look around the purple-tinged bridge in my mind. You were out of your jump seat, and you were standing at your terminal going over a report. That initial volley sent you tumbling backward, and you collided with the aft bulkhead. I was starting to initiate evasive maneuvers when I heard you hit. The bridge was really loud right then. The proximity and heat damage alarms were both going off, and the ship's hull was reverberating from the attack. But I could still hear that sickening crack, your head hitting the wall. I felt my stomach drop down to my ankles, and I cringed so hard I think I chipped a tooth. I set full powers to engines and boosted away from the wake, hoping to get some distance to activate the frameshift drive after cooldown. I got up and ran to the back of the bridge, and you were sprawled out on the deck. There was a red splash of blood fanned out over the bulkhead like a setting sun. You were unconscious but still breathing. I dragged you back to your jump seat while the ship rocked from being pelted with high energy railgun shots. Buckled you in and applied a med pack to the back of your head before putting your helmet back on.
Docking request granted.
There were flames coming out of the console. That's when the canopy breach alarm went off.
Landing gear deployed.
My ears popped, and everything was sucked out of the canopy in a great gale. Then that deafening silence.
Docking successful.
All I
Engines
could hear was
disengaged.
my slowing heartbeat and rasping breath. Something had penetrated my helmet. My mouth and nose was thick with blood. I could barely breathe. I started to see a black tunnel begin to collapse in front of me, and I knew I didn't have much time. I stretched out for your jump seat eject button, but it was so far away. The further I reached, the further my vision tunneled, and stretched out before me. My fingers snaked out into infinity, and I felt the edge of the button. I pressed as hard as I could, and I felt the click. I think I did. No, I did. I know I felt it activate. It must have. I felt my mind start to slip away, and I drowned in the depth of the void. That's where I stayed for a lifetime. For an eternity in that purple light. That purple glow of plasma is all there was. That purple light.